Gotta stop. Have to stop like taking big gulps of energy drink before I get on before I go live. Otherwise, I'm
just glad this water bottle is actually vodka.
Yeah. You know, did I show you the soap I bought? That's in the like liquor bottles.
Oh, you bought that booze soap?
Yeah, it's called creamy or something, but it looks like it's in little vodka bottles. And I said, where was this when I was a kid? I didn't drink, but you know, my friends did, and they could. Oh, this is my soap for the shower. You know, it's full of vodka, just full of vodka.
Well, you have to let us know how it is.
The soap is okay. It's okay. It's I got the tea tree one, which is you know.
You mix that with Kraken rum and some ice. And
there you go.
Yeah, I think somebody ever think I'm drinking in the shower. Like, they must be depressed. He's now tossing it back in the shower.
Oh,
he's been sipping a little bit. Hello, everybody out there. It is Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. Happy birthday, Pisces everywhere. You know, it's our month. We're doing this. You know, Joker's a Pisces. Don't forget that. Yeah, it's important to remember. We're gonna hit the intro here. We got our usual gang of suspects. We got two guests, Jose Garcia and Michael Derrick. Michael Oden will be joining us a little bit later. But yeah, we're gonna hit the intro and then we are going to get into it. We got questions, of course. We got comics to talk about and an industry to make fun of.
Yes.
Here we go. Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian Grant. I am the founder of Indie Volt Media LLC. Started making comics way back in 2008, probably before that actually, but that's the year I'm claiming, 2008. Started putting out books. You know, I was looking at my the number of books I put out. Man, I put out a lot of books. I'm actually kind of proud of that. I didn't think about that till today. I'm looking and I'm like, you know, I got a long resume. It's kind of like measuring.
So you can count them all in one hand?
No, I'm up to two hands now. I put out what was it? I think I got 13 books I put out. So I'm really excited about that. That was kind of cool. I didn't think that I did that many, but yeah, I'm also the co-founder and co-publisher of Last Call Comics. What else, man? So much. Indie Volt. I said that. Liberty, LEDG.US. Get your independent comic books in stores today. One of the founding five over at Terraform. And mind you, one of the good old folks putting together the Indie Volt Awards. Indie Volt Awards. We're doing an award show September 18th. Live from Dave and Buster's. And it's going to be streamed online too, but you want to be there live because so all kind of cool stuff is going to be there live. Plus, you know, there'll be stuff that we put up that'll happen live that we can't do online. We'll have to take the camera off. Take the camera off of that. Don't show that.
That's when we bring on the dancing girls.
Yeah. Yes. I am joined, as always, by the beautiful indie princess. Hello, Lola.
Hey, guys.
Who are you? What are you doing?
What am I doing? I am the indie princess, and what I'm doing now is getting ready to launch my campaign here March 31st for lore. And it's driving me crazy. But I'm getting there. I'm figuring it all out.
It's already driving you crazy?
It is.
We can pull up that logo right there. Look at that. It's awesome. Launching March 31st.
It all started with an invite. Yeah, she's excited. I've talked to her about it today.
I am. I'm really excited.
Cool.
I can't wait to get the final book in my hand.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's always a special time when you get that book you made and it's like right there. And
it is.
I did this.
The first book I created and wrote by myself. So I'm
cradle your baby and sit down and read it. And and you'll smell it. You'll look around, make sure nobody's looking. You go, oh, that's It's great.
And if it came from certain companies, it'll definitely smell. We won't say that because their ink is just woo. Is this legal? Randy Zim is here with me again.
I think Russ admitted he didn't have it sealed, that he had a choice to have it coated somehow that would have knocked that ink smell out. So, yeah, it's a running gag now. So, hey, everybody, I'm Randy Zimmerman. I am a longtime alternative and independent comics creator. I've been doing it for many decades. My first work was published in the back of Journey number 11 with Bill Mesner-Loebs. That journey, if you can remember back that far, I've been doing just about everything that you can imagine in this business, from retailing to coordinating conventions to printing and publishing my own stuff to printing and publishing everybody else's stuff, and ran Arrow Comics for quite a while, and we're bringing that back again. Arrow Comics 4.0 will be back later on this year with a roster of books that it's going to be a lot of fun to do. Can't wait to get into it. Plus, we'll be doing the Indie Volt Revolt book and campaign here pretty quickly, as soon as I can get it arranged and get it out there. And the Indie Volt Revolt book is going to be a lot of fun. So 120 pages so far with stretch goals. We'll see how big we can make this thing. So let's go. It'll be fun.
Very good. Dreaded Dinosaur is here with us.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Eric Hodson, the Dreaded Dinosaur here, creator of Dreaded Dinosaur Man. The new episode is up right now on Webtoon. Launched it at 8:30 tonight, so I'm back into the saddle again doing that. Also, creator of Roddy Piper, the Kilted Avenger. You can pick that up at ProWrestlingTees.com.
We're going to look at your Dinosaur Man book tonight, too. We're joined by Jose Garcia with Lumina. Is that Lumina Vox?
Yes.
That's
yeah,
right.
That's Lumina Vox.
That's right. Introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, guys. Hello, guys from Indie Volt. My name is Jose Garcia. I'm a 16 years old veteran for the comic and animation industry. I've been working in animation, doing storyboards for companies like DreamWorks, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. I've also been doing comics, either for the US or like heavy metal, 30-second books. And I work with Webtoons and for Ankama editions on France. So, and I really love to make comics. So that's why I decided to go indie, and I have tons of IPs which I want to develop, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, awesome.
And Mr. Derrick, Michael Derrick is here with us. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going? I just realized, I'm not exactly the grizzled veteran. I've only been making comics for 3 years, so I feel like I'm standing out just a little, but that's okay. I got into, I've always wanted to make comics, but I really, started pursuing it in earnest back in 2018. First with my own web comics, and then I did some comic shorts before going full on into crowdfunding in 2019 with my first book, The Abductables. And now I'm on my third crowdfunding campaign, having a lot of fun, and just making as much comics as I can.
That's awesome, man.
Yes. Cool. So don't think you're the newbie here. Indie Princess is just working on her first book.
That is true.
I'm working on my first book, but I've been in the industry for 10 years.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've been helping put out other books for Last Call Comics. So technically, I'm not really a newbie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't feel like a newbie either. Like, it's funny, I've only been doing this, like I said, since 2018, but it feels like a lifetime ago, because I think working on comics and even, obviously not being in the mainstream industry, but it being at any part of comics, I think it adds years or takes years off your life.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Your first production that you spearhead yourself just ages you.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a labor of love, because as grueling as this industry can be, it's I wouldn't change anything about it, because I just, we all of us, we just love comics. We love making comics, and any kind of headaches that it might bring on the business side of things, it's always worth it for the art. So,
Sorry about that. I was sending out the link to Michael Oden, make sure he gets it. All right. Yeah, I think that but you learn something every year. I'm still learning, and I've been around since 2000, and started going to cons before that, meeting people, and I'm still learning. I learn something new every year about comics every day. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm on my, like I said, I'm on my third crowdfunding campaign, and I feel like I'm still learning and figuring it out. And as Roddy Piper would say, just when I think I know the answers, they start changing the questions. So
That's right.
Yeah, man, I feel that.
Well,
I've been doing this for decades. There's always something new to learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we create a place like this. We all do our own YouTube stuff, and then we create Indie Vault
Exactly
here.
right.
It's like we all help each other out. We all talk about our stuff. We push it out there.
Yep.
And make successes.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful for guys like you and, so many other people who have these, YouTube shows. It's like, it's really nice, as an indie creator, you can kind of go on a little press tour whenever you have a project and go on all these different YouTube shows and, promote your book and, talk about comics. So,
one of the things that I did when I started Indie Vault is I really wanted to bring, some exposure, professional exposure to comics, to indie comics, because I had I was sitting at a con and I realized that, like, I went through Artist Alley. It was a big con. I went through Artist Alley and I seen some companies there, and they were over standing in line, or they had the big guy who had the multi, like the, I don't want to say multi-million-dollar, but had the multi-million-dollar, had done work for the multi-million-dollar company, and they're interviewing him or her, and they're like, the person sitting next to him who's, maybe they put this month's rent money into getting that book printed. They weren't getting any type of exposure. They were getting looked right past, and I felt really bad. And I'm like, man, I really want to do something for those people. So, I put Indie Vault together, and the thing is, I have tried very hard to keep Indie Vault just that, very independent. I don't like putting my content in front of anybody else's. I find that to be so disingenuous. Like, I don't like doing it. I want to push everyone else's stuff, because that's what that logo up there says. It doesn't say Varian Grant's Indie Vault. It says Indie Vault. It's not meant to be a place for propaganda. It's not meant to be a place for, we've walked the political spectrum. We've never talked about it. We keep things here very neutral. You leave all that shit at the door and come here and talk about comics. And it's really hard to do that, because some people, they don't let you. They don't want you to do that. We've had some guests try to come in and try to hijack the show occasionally, but it's really hard to. We're just happy that people like you, 3 years in, you're taking it serious, and you want to do this, and you want to come in and do the press tours. You, and same for Jose. It's also another Jose, because we don't call JD Jose, but another Jose. So I get to I like this one better. I'm just kidding. But we're going to jump into the questions here, and we are going to, let me see here. I have minimal access. My computer's really working weird today. All right.
You said it was my computer.
Your computer, your other computer doesn't have any answer, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have, like, I don't know what's wrong with StreamYard. I paid for it. I don't know why it's doing this. It's not working right for me. Like, I don't have anything. Like,
I think we're
my
getting
banners aren't
overloaded
there.
in the chat.
My banners aren't there. Anything. Only thing I can do is I can share my screen, and I can share video.
R&R Banks, thanks so much for writing in. I miss seeing IPs come together and mature. Whatever happened to the ash can? R&R Banks. It's a good question, R&R. We can answer that with 3 letters. POD.
Well, I think what happens is that you have, like, now correct me if I'm wrong, the ash can, Randy, started from
Way
like
back in the 70s, when kids wanted to print their own comics, they'd just run them off on 8.5 by 11 and staple them in the in the middle and fold them.
right.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to worry about any of so the ash can was like a sample of, hey, this is the book I want to do. Do you like it? If I see an audience for it, then
technically in publishing, it goes back way before that. It goes back to the 1930s when some of these companies wanted to secure copyright. They'd make a few ash cans and put little TMs all over the place and stash them as file copies or register them, send them in and get them registered as trademarks. That's where Captain Marvel, originally the Billy Batson Captain Marvel, we call Shazam now, originally started out being called Captain Thunder and was in Flash Comics #1 until they figured out there was already a Flash Comics, so they had to change that. And there was a Johnny Thunder, so they changed Captain Thunder over to Captain Marvel.
Right.
That's before Marvel Comics was out. So then they did, they got really successful with Billy Batson and Captain Marvel. But before they did that, they did ash cans that they filed away in the file cabinets. Those are incredibly rare right now.
And POD has done away with that. It's funny thing is, and it's funny.
POD for the uninitiated out there is print on demand. Print on demand printers can now print up to 1 to, however many copies you need.
I get so scared now because a lot of people don't know this, but Indie Vote has finally turned enough heads to where we've got people who are sponsoring the live stream and the company. And so we picked up a print on demand, got a printer. So I can't say name the printers anymore. So I feel like this is how Wendy Williams felt when she got her TV show.
But at least it's a great print on demand printer.
Right. But this is how Wendy was. She was like, she got cooked. She couldn't say what she wanted to say anymore. And I'm like, oh man, there's so many different rules now that I have to follow. Go ahead, Eric, you want to say something?
The hassles of sponsorship.
Yeah. When I first started out in 2005, the first thing I did was make an ash can.
Yeah.
I went into Kinko's before it became FedEx Office. Had my yellow cardstock I picked out for the cover and folded it in half and did all that stuff. Took it up to a Comic-Con in Minnesota and made my first $100 and just loved it. Now, Michael, Jose, did you guys ever make comics that way?
Yeah, my it's funny, that was interesting, Randy, what you said about kind of the origins of the ash can. And then it's funny how in recent years they kind of made a resurgence on the convention scene as a good way to promote someone's comic, just to kind of hand out. And now with crowdfunding, they're almost making another resurgence as kind of like, I guess you could call it a nostalgia item, or with print on demand, they're definitely not as necessary, but at the same time, they're still a cheaper way to print comics. We actually sold an ash can on my previous campaign, Grayscale. My artist, he had his own series called Dark Ages, which it had nothing to do with the Grayscale thing, but we're like, well, we could offer that up as some more value for the campaign, as a separate perk and as kind of an add-on. So yeah, at least as far as the campaigns are concerned, it is a good way to get more content out there at a cheaper price. So yeah, I don't I think people dig them. It's a cool format. Yeah, it's just a mini comic. So it's any way, because print on demand makes it a lot easier, but it's still expensive to print comics. So stuff like that where it makes it a little cheaper and easier to get out there is always cool. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Cool. Jose?
Yeah, I started working on ash cans when I was in high school, but I find out pretty quickly that I was really, really clumsy cutting and, just putting the pages together, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I made some real I made some money with that, and that was really cool. I actually presented my first ash can to one of the pros on Marvel, Humberto Ramos, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, Humberto really helped me out when I was starting. But the minute I was trying to show my ash cans to the editors on Marvel, he just said, "Just don't, kid, just don't." And, they were that bad, but he said your drawings are cool, so why don't you make a portfolio and just try the try uh, the right way. I believe, but it's cool. I really like ash cans. I've been buying. I bought a lot of them, mostly from animators at San Diego Comic Con. They have really cool, really great stuff. Really, I don't know. It's very. I admire the people who can make really cool ash cans, because I really can't. I mean, I would love to make one right now, but I'm too clumsy for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The brother
great-
JD.
Oh, the great JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics says Randy is correct on the ash cans. Full color is cost prohibitive on a home inkjet printer. It is actually cheaper to do POD than home printing or Kinko ash can. Full color though. A laser jet is cheaper, but still approximately 11 cents per page. And that does not include how many copies you screw up stapling and messing up the fold or trimming the border. JD apparently has the voice of experience there.
Yeah. So we have brother Rosario and brother Calderon.
Yes.
in the house. So all my comments are like wonky. I don't know. Some say Facebook, some say, well, I guess they're Facebook. Here's the next one. Here you go, Randy.
Next question from the Harris boys. Awesome. Thanks for writing in, Harris boys. I'm glad you're tag teaming on an email here. You guys had Dan Fogel on the other day. My brothers and I are wanting to put together an independent comics price guide. What challenges do you think we'll face first? The Harris boys. The first big challenge you're going to face is to try to list everything. Yeah. And good luck on that. We did have Dan Fogel on the Sunday Funnies program Sunday morning. We're going to have Dan back on a semi-regular basis. And Harris boys, believe me, that'll be one of the topics that we'll get into with Dan about how difficult it was, because he spent years putting together an underground price guide. He still updates it occasionally because he's constantly finding new things, new stuff that people had printed 20, 30 years ago that he needs to put in that book. So it's a constant challenge to stay up to date. Now, if you're going to try to do an independent book, you're going to have to probably define what an independent comic is to start with. Does that include Dark Horse? Does that include Valiant? Exactly what is an independent book, and where you're going to start the independent line at. Because you have a whole era of fanzine there, and then it turns into regular comics, and then the direct market starts up. There's a lot of deciding you'll have to do for your guidebook, but I really commend you in thinking about doing it, because there's a lot of books. I think we've discussed in the past, there's a lot of books from the 1980s that are completely overlooked and missed by time that deserve to be looked at and pointed to and shown off that you don't find around anymore. So best of luck to you, Harris boys. I hope you should keep us posted as to how your progress.
Yeah. That and I think, like you said, you're gonna have to define what an independent book is. You may run into some problems with that too. I think your biggest concern, your biggest challenge is going to be the indie creators. I don't want to be listed. I want to be listed. How dare you not list me? How do you determine the value? Oh my goodness, the headache.
See, that was a big problem with the Overstreet price guide back in the 80s, because they had to draw a line as to whether or not they were going to list stuff that was independent. And like the first year or so, the Arrow comics was out. They listed us, Tales from the Anniversary Realm, Dead World, and then they yanked us. because they decided that if you were in black and white, you weren't really an official comic book. They had so many mainstreamers bitch, why are you listing these kids doing this fanzine stuff? These are fanzines. These independent books are just outgrowth of fanzines. We need to list comics. So they didn't list us for quite a while, and now they only put in Overstreet what they see as collectible. So you'll see Realm listed, but you'll hardly, from Arrow Comics, you might see Dead World listed. I think you still do, because Dead World 1 is a valuable book. Same thing with Realm 1 and Realm 4 that had the first Dead World in it. But you won't see Tales from the Universe listed unless they decided to put that listing back in. You know, it's a really fuzzy line.
And if you're going to start listing stuff that's mainstream, how do you set prices for that? Ever since eBay came along, it's like, for me, whenever I go to, whenever I was at a con or I'd find something, first thing I'm doing is I'm looking it up on eBay, looking it up on Amazon, trying to see if the price that's right here in front of me actually kind of lines up. So where would you even get your values from for a new price guide? That would be to me, that seems like a nightmare.
There's a lot of challenges there. Yeah,
it is. Anybody else want to talk about that?
Well, yeah, it is funny. I always kind of roll my eyes when because some people think anything that isn't Marvel and DC is like independent, and I guess you can make the argument for that. But to me, companies like Image and Dark Horse, and I don't consider those independent, because to me those are just as big of, obviously they're not as big as Marvel and DC, but to me they're still major companies. I think it'll be interesting in like 10 years from now. All these, there's kind of the crowdfunding boom that's going on right now in comics. It'll be interesting to see like what these comics are worth 10 years from now, and where they end up on the secondary markets. Because, some people will they'll back a crowdfunded book and then, try to sell it on eBay right away. But, I think a lot of these will actually go up in value quite a bit, especially, unknown creators that are, kind of putting their stuff out. And then, who knows if they blow up years from now, the stuff that they initially put out on crowdfunding is going to be worth a lot more. So it'll be interesting to see how that market kind of blooms in the coming years.
Yeah, man, I believe the same thing. And it will be quite a gigantic task, because since all the prices will be going gradually up, you'll need to keep updating the list on a weekly basis. What if the comics is on the next campaign sold out? Then you have to update, because it has gone up in value on the secondary market. So it will be incredibly hard to keep up with all the titles.
Yeah. Especially with crowdfunding, because we're talking about print runs of under 3,000, some under 1,000. So, and you never know where any of these properties are going to go. Tomorrow there could be a mass exodus, or one of the streaming services decides that the crowdfunding books, the IPs and the crowdfunding books have very great viability, and start picking them all up for outside exposure. You never know where this could go.
Okay.
So it's part of the fun of this market right now.
We've been joined by Michael Oden, who finally got in here. Sorry, Mike, I was late with the link, but
no worries, man. I was late to coming in on the stream. I owe you an apology.
Introduce yourself really quickly, Michael, because we got another question we got to put up here.
Yeah, no worries. I'm Michael Oden. I'm the creator and writer of books like Elysian Fields and now The Embrace, currently live on Indiegogo. And that pretty much covers me. Let's get to these questions.
So we got one left, and here we go. It's from okay, there you go.
Grand. Matt Zero Scope. Thanks for writing in, Matt. I wouldn't expect working artists to get gliding
supplies.
Supplies.
It's a new term for stealing. Well, it's not new.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's the
gliding.
newfangled jargon. Anyway, I wouldn't expect working artists to get gliding supplies, but for some artists, it's the only way. Is your copy of Photoshop or InDesign or Illustrator legit? Why is it acceptable to use a hacked copy of a program for art? But if I boost a few copies, cans of
Copics.
Montana, what? Copics,
Copics.
sorry. Read that wrong. But if I boost a few Copics, cans of Montana, or a graphite holder for art, I'm a thief and deserve to go to jail. Matt,
Well,
zero scope.
Now, me and Lola talked about this earlier, and one of my problems with this one was, okay, a lot of those art stores, some of them, not all of them, and see, oh man, I can't say stuff. I gotta be careful. Dang it.
Yep. Be very careful.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I can't say stuff. Sponsors, dang it. Some of these art stores are ran by mom and pop.
Yes.
And so when you go in there and take that graphite holder, you're literally taking food out of their mouths, clothes off their back. Excuse me. And even if they're not, I mean, come on, stealing is bad. You walking in a store, taking something is bad. Now, I do have a legal copy of Photoshop. I signed up for the Creative Cloud. It made it a little bit more affordable because I know Photoshop, even with the college discount, was, what was it, Eric? $700-800 at one point.
More than that back in the day before they started going to the subscription model.
Yeah.
I remember being back in college. I don't think anybody legally had it in college.
Yeah.
Of course, we passed stuff around on zip disks back in those days.
Right. And I mean, and I think they know that. A lot of people.
Yeah.
I remember getting notifications, hey, your copy ain't legit. You need to sign up. And it's like, they also, though, it taught people. I know people who are Photoshop masters from learning on hacked copies. They got really good learning on those copies that they didn't pay for, unfortunately. I guess we are splitting hairs here, though, guys. What do you think? I mean, what do you think, Dreaded? I mean,
yeah, no, it's splitting hairs because ultimately, if we're going by the letter of the law, both things are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can do about the company who doesn't enforce it, though. So there's an onerous, like, a shop owner is going to call the cops if they catch you and enforce that. These companies, they really have no motivation to enforce these things because no matter what year it is, no matter how good technology, progresses in security and all that, there's always going to be a hacked copy of your software floating around the internet. And, it's on the onus is on them to come after individuals so they don't do that. Now, they do come out after on institutions and things, larger companies like that, where there is like lawsuit potential, but individuals, they pretty much leave them alone. And they know people are learning on this stuff. Heck, a lot of them give away free trials for that reason, so that you can do educational stuff. You have educational licenses.
Yep.
So they make a good way. But you know what? I get so much mileage out of my $80 copy of Clip Studio I paid for. So Adobe Photoshop is moot as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. I remember there was a point where, as I recall, and I remember this back in the early 2000s, friends of mine were getting told they had to bring in their Adobe certificate when they were applying for jobs to prove that they had an actual
subscription.
Copy.
Yeah.
There was no subscription at that point, but they had to prove they had a legal copy of Adobe at home, or that they were using a legal copy, and they had to bring that in. And they didn't have it; they couldn't get the job. What do you think, Randy? Are we splitting hairs here? I mean, I think he has a point.
Well, I think you also have a point about going into an art supply store and boosting stuff. You're hurting the art supply store, where and a lot of the software stuff they just don't chase after or try to enforce it. But I learned how to use the older programs, so I use the older programs. That's all. And I paid through the nose for Photoshop, so I'll be damned if I'm not going to keep using it as long as it's not broken. So. I'll transfer it over to every system I can to try to get the money's worth out of it.
Randy, your copy of Photoshop is so old. I'm afraid one day it's going to be like, look, you've got to upgrade. You got to.
No, they'll outdo. When that happens, I'll upgrade. I just bought Clip Studio. They had it on sale. I was happy to buy it.
Yeah.
but the Corel Draw that I bought, that I have in my new system, is absolute trash. I hate it. I don't use it. I use the old Corel Draw in one of my older systems to do all of the layout and lettering on, because I know the ins and outs of that program completely. The other Corel Draw that I paid for, I could, I hardly even tap into. I hate it. Like I said.
You guys, Jose, you want to say anything about this, or?
Yeah, man. I wouldn't never boost a copy from a store, and I will never encourage anyone to do that. I mean, traditional stuff, it's kind of an artist's pleasure to go and buy your supplies. I think a lot of people enjoy that. And it's real cool when you do it with your own money. So most artists I know will never go do that into a store. But regarding the digital, that's another story, because I come from Mexico. It's a very different situation here, and I know a lot of people from Latin America and stuff. And before the subscription plans from Adobe, it was like really, really incredibly expensive to buy an Adobe Photoshop license. Nobody ever had it. So, and I didn't knew anyone who has it. But right now, I am paying my Adobe Cloud Make Ready Club subscription, and what I tell most of my peers, my students, and all the people I know from art is that, okay, it might be a while you can use unlicensed software, shady software for a while, but after a while you have to give back. You have to show your gratitude. You have to show you don't want those who lift you up go down. So I encourage everyone, like, if you can't buy a software, there's other means, other shading means, but whenever you can, go back and do it legit. In animation, there's we use Toon Boom a lot, and it's really, really expensive. It's the license, it's about 1,200 or 1,400, and that's a ton of money for some people. When I started DreamWorks, I couldn't afford it, so I was borrowing from the internet a license, and for a couple of months until I was ready to actually buy the software. And now I can't upgrade my iMac because that software doesn't work in other operation system, in other OS rather than Mojave. So I can't upgrade, but I want to get as much as mileage as I can from this program. It was $1,400.
Yeah.
Michael, what do you think?
There's not a lot left to say on this. I think everyone's kind of hit everything on the head here. I think the big difference between these two things is it is a very fine line. But let's say if you were caught by Adobe using one of those using a pirated Photoshop or what have you, they could hold you liable to the same degree as those store owners. That all depends upon the people that hold the official license of the product. That's how that works. So
and if Adobe feels like making you an example,
exactly. And so again, you're talking about, yes, these are two similar things, but at the end of the day, you do technically run the risk of facing that same punishment one way. It's just a matter of there's so much of it across the board that Adobe just it's one of those things where when you're dealing with software and when you're dealing with anything like that on the internet, you kind of just resign yourself to the fact that some jackass is going to hijack it and use it. And so you do what you can, but otherwise you're just trying to make sure that your paying customers are happy, and that's that's all you can do. Now when it comes down to like the art stores and everything, as been said, majority of the art stores that are around are mom and pop shops. So you going around and taking art supplies from that without putting the money down, you're taking money away from them, which prevents them from staying open, which prevents them from putting food on their table. And it's definitely one of those things where they are similar, but there are some very drastic distinctions, I feel, as well.
And nowadays, with modern surveillance equipment, you are taking a lot of harder risk trying to move stuff physically out of to move stuff out of an art supply store.
Two, there's also, listen, if I got to pay more for my Copics, which I do now because a certain art store got rid of their 40% off everyday coupon. So now I got to pay full price for my Copics.
But we love Dick Blick.
We love Dick Blick. Dick Blick
That's
is
not
great.
the guys that removed that coupon, though.
No, Dick Blick would never offer a coupon to take it away.
In fact, now we could probably tell folks that if they get up on dickblick.com.
No, they need to go to iNDIE Vote first. They need to go to
go to INDIE.com and use that link over to dickblick.com because they have graciously are a sponsor of the program. You buy supplies and use that link. Your shipping is free.
Is it still free shipping this week, Lola?
They didn't send me anything else, so yeah.
So it's still free shipping over $45
for anything over $45. So
free shipping.
Check that out,
Mr. Derrick.
I don't. It's funny. I don't think it's. This is definitely not a problem that's unique to art supplies. Even back in the day, it would be. They don't really make CDs anymore, I guess. But back in the day, if you went to Best Buy and, tried to walk out with a stack of CDs, that, security would probably tase you and tackle you to the ground. But nobody had a problem using Napster and LimeWire. Like, when it's on the internet, it almost doesn't feel real, or it doesn't, to most people, it doesn't feel like stealing, even though it is. I as far as like Photoshop specifically goes, I'm not an artist. I'm just a writer. I did draw my own webcomics, but that was just more out of necessity than anything else. But I actually do letter some of my comics, specifically the Abductables. I do the lettering myself. At this point, I can't afford Photoshop, but I don't know if you guys are aware of GIMP. It's actually an open source version, like a lesser version of Photoshop, totally legal. Open source, so it's designed for anybody to download for free. Definitely not as good as Photoshop, but it gets the job done for me at least. And so I'm definitely grateful for open source programs like that. And it's the even now, the internet is so unregulated. I think that's going to change in the coming years. I think they're finally starting to crack down on, what you can do and get away with on the internet. So I don't even, I don't even take the risk of, downloading illegal programs or anything like that anymore. Because if it's just, at least for me, with open source programs and stuff like that, it's just, not a necessity. So
could you imagine that? You can't. Could you imagine a DJ making that claim? You don't understand. I'm a DJ. I have to steal these CDs. It's weird.
Yeah, I feel for artists who still work traditionally, because as expensive as these programs like Photoshop can be, it's so much more expensive to work traditionally to buy the Copics and stuff. So it could definitely really be expensive to work traditionally these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when we go to cons, Eric and I, Eric has a bigger Copic collection than me, but we had to break out the physical stuff because people want that drawing colored, or they want I know I spent a couple $100 on Copics by now. Eric, I'm pretty sure you're in the thousands.
Oh yeah, easily. And I'm kind of like a marker snob. Anytime there's like a new marker, I just picked up these Karataki manga ones from Zig. I'm looking forward to breaking those open and seeing what they're like. So I'll buy a little bit of everything just to try it out too. So I got a whole box of non-Copics that I don't even like them, but I've just acquired them.
They're just there.
It's one of those things you get when you're an artist and you go in to buy art supplies. It's like, oh, this is so great, and you just want to keep. You know, it's Christmas every time you go in there.
Let's take a look at the Abductables from Michael. Abductables 2. Here it is. Here's their campaign over on Indiegogo. The abductee is back, and this time he's up against his deadliest enemy yet, the reptilian. Let me make sure that I set my screen to sound. Hold on. I'm not sure that I clicked the audio button, so let me make sure, because I want to play the video. Here we go. Very nice, sir. Very nice. Now, talk to us about the project. What's it about?
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier that I got into crowdfunding back in 2019. My first crowdfunding project was the first Abductables, which was basically a sci-fi action comedy, kind of a spin on the traditional alien abduction story, where usually abduction stories are almost presented as it's almost like a horror movie. You wake up and you're surrounded by these little gray, freaky looking aliens that are looking down at you and revving up the probe and getting ready to do all kinds of horrible experiments on you. But the idea behind the Abductables was, what if they abducted the wrong guy? Specifically a guy that looks like 1980s Arnold Schwarzenegger, who promptly goes full commando on them. And, so we flipped that alien abduction and kind of turned it into a full-blown action movie where he just starts kicking all their asses. And,
He abducted the wrong man.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we definitely play into the that 1980s action movie influence with all the one-liners and over the top violence and stuff like that. But really that was just the jumping off point. There's a lot of twists and turns that we go to. We kind of leave no stone unturned in terms of alien mythology, as far as like Area 51, Roswell, all the stuff you would expect from the classic gray alien mythology. Mm-hmm. And then with this new project, the Abductables 2, it's kind of taking that original premise and expanding it even bigger and better and crazier, because now, in classic fashion, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The abductee, the main character, he actually has to work with the gray aliens to fight an even greater threat, who we mentioned was the reptilian, mm-hmm. who in the context of our story is this intergalactic warlord who's hell bent on destroying the galaxy. So even more action this time around. And I mentioned Abductables 2 is even bigger and better. The original Abductables was 52 pages, black and white. This time we're going 60 pages full color. And of course, anybody who missed out on the first one, we do have the option to for you to get both books for a total of 112 comic book pages. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff I love about comic books is you can go, big budget, go as crazy as you want, throw as much action and humor, and that's stuff you couldn't even get away with in movies. You can do in comics. So, I just want. I shamelessly called it the cult classic comic in the trailer, but I think that is an apt title because the original Abductables was very well received by people. They really enjoyed it. And I just want to give people more of that kind of sense of humor and that crazy over the top violence that they know and love from the first one. So yeah, I hope people dig it. We got a week left on the campaign, no extensions, fixed deadline, or fixed goal. So this is all or nothing to get this book funded, but I think we can do it. And as you can see there, we got a ton of pages on the campaign for people to check out. We actually have the first 10 pages fully lettered. So if they want to read through those to kind of get an idea of the tone of the book and the humor, and we also have pages from the original book as well. So yeah, it's a lot of bang for your buck, and just awesome indie comics that I hope people dig.
I like it. You can check this out, everyone. Our radio listeners right now, we are at 52,804 listening worldwide. Thank you guys for tuning in. 52,807 jumped up to 52,807 now.
Nice.
Listening worldwide. Thank you guys for tuning in. Right now, we are talking about the Abductables 2 over on Indiegogo. And you do have January 2022 is your estimated shipping date. And you're shipping worldwide. So that will make a lot of our listeners very happy because, again, we on the radio, it's all over the world. So, he's willing to ship all over the world, guys. This is the one that you can get.
And that's one thing about crowdfunding is, the international shipping it can be a deal breaker for a lot of people. It can be very expensive to ship overseas. Mm-hmm. But, I like to think, we keep our international shipping as low as, humanly possible. And we have a lot of great deals for our international backers, including, a lot of our higher level perks like the, art commission perks and the original art and stuff. You'll save a lot of money on shipping. So anybody outside of America, don't hesitate to check out what we have to offer, because I think like I said, our international shipping is lower than most campaigns.
Right. And too, like you said, you can I know a lot of people for the international backers, they put in extra things, so that makes it worth it to them a bit more. I know I think Anthony did 2 books for his international shippers. That way it kind of evened out, like a buddy could go in with them. We'll always find ways to make it cheaper for the international supporters. This looks good. I'm gonna make sure that we put the link to it in the chat. In the chat and in the on the video description. Got down to lay original art here, $300.
Yeah. I think one of the strong suits of the Abductables is that it really does have that kind of strong high concept. Anybody can get behind the idea of a guy going full John Wick on the aliens that abducted him. But beyond that, if people are like, okay, that's a cool concept, we do have so much more to offer. Like you said, we have original art for sale from Donald DeLay, who's a really great artist, did Cash Grab, Brutus the Badass, Vestige. And then we actually just recently added even more original art from Brendan McCarthy, who is industry legend. This guy has worked on 2000 AD. He worked on Mad Max Fury Road. Any 90s kids in the audience will remember he did the character designs for Reboot, the animated series. So, very legendary artist. And he did some original art for us that we have for sale. And these will also be printed full color in the pinup gallery of the book as well. So, just to add more value, we're gonna,
cool.
have that pinup gallery.
Looks good. We will. I know you got to step away, so I want to get around to this, and then, but we're gonna take a look at it before we close the show out again. And that's again the Abductables 2. It is on Indiegogo. 7 days left. You guys got 7 days to get over there. 7 short days. By the time most of you hear this, though, in America, it'll be 6 days. So
please do. If you can, we are like you said, down to the last week. We already did our 30-day extension, so we're painfully close to getting funded. So I totally think we can pull it off. It'll be close, but if you and for what it's worth, like I said, this is my 3rd crowdfunding campaign, so you won't have to worry about if the book's going to come out, if it's going to be late or anything like that. I know what I'm doing at this point as far as printing, shipping the book. So you can trust us to get your book out on time.
Cool.
All right, guys, jump on it. Get in there.
Yeah.
Let's get him funded.
Yeah. All right, and then we're gonna look at another book here. Not that one. That's not a book at all. Wow. Okay. You get scared. You open some tabs up. You're like, wait a minute, that's not a comic.
Careful what you show.
That's not a comic at all.
That's your porn addiction talking.
Apparently, no. You know what's funny is I'm always online looking at
porn.
No. I wish. No, there's too many. There's a kid around here. There's a kid around here
that has ousted you, buddy.
Yeah, there's a kid around here that sneaks up on people. I can't look at that. I have too many. I have too many monitors. One right there that looks right down the hall. Nah, but
2 girls, 1 comic.
What I usually have. What I usually have is I'll look for costumes, and Lolo will send me like shoes because she loves shoes, and then I'll have like all these pairs of heels like all in my timeline. So it's like someone's gonna think that I like to wear heels in my off time. Speaking of heels, Jason Doobie says, "Wait, did I just see a shoe cam?" You did. Lola has a shoe cam.
Sponsored by IndieCron.
Sponsored by IndieCron. Yes. Yeah. Well, if anybody doesn't know, we totally sold out on this show. We got sponsors up the yin yang now.
Shoe cam. Sponsored by IndieCron.
Yeah, that's her shoe cam.
Yes.
So Lumina Vox is from Jose Garcia. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Okay, guys. So Lumina Vox is 80-page space eldritch adventure comics. This one is about a girl called Mia. That's the main character, and she has at the beginning of the book, she's in kind of the middle of a ritual where some guys, some unknown entities, put an eldritch god inside of her. And in this world, people, all the beings who have these eldritch gods, who are harvesting these eldritch gods inside of them, are called the Luminas. And yeah, they're pretty much wreak havoc around the universe. That's an animation I did for the trailer. I don't really have it finished yet, but I hope it will be for the launching on April. And the Luminas follow the story. Lumina Vox follow the story of Mia, the girl with the eye patch, and she will be. She's a mercenary who is hunting for ancient artifacts, which are located inside of the decaying god carcasses lying around the universe. There's kind of this war between the gods, the Luminas, and there's another entity called the Abyssal Hunter Society, which are a group of very powerful guys who are hunting both the Luminas and the gods, and they're fighting for the artifacts. And it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of fights. There's gonna be a lot of adventure. There's gonna be a lot of tomb raiding, and It's gonna be cool. Good.
Now, usually I pick on you about the art style, but somehow this works on me. Somehow this works. I like her design. She's growing on me. I would like that as an action figure. She's got a cool look about her. I think it's the eye patch that does it for me. Look at she's working on her stuff. She's not, and she's smoking.
Yes.
So that's cool.
I love that art style. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Thanks
Very
a lot.
individual. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Usually I'm like, oh no, look, it's like she's like pink, and she's got green hair, but no, she's smoking. She's got bad habits. She probably drinks a lot of soda and beer, so she's my type of girl.
That's teal hair.
Yeah. If she drinks soda, beer, has daddy issues, my type of girl. Al.
Yeah, man. All that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, I'll take that. So when do you think you're gonna have that? I know you've got the launch page up on Indiegogo right now.
Yeah, on the launch page you can see some of the pages. There's only animation and pre-production on here, but on the pre-launch page you can see some actual interior art of how the comic will look like. I'm doing everything. I'm doing inks, colors, and I'm writing it. I will be lettering it. I will be doing the trailer. That's the cover. That's the interior art.
Look at that.
It's really pretty, man.
Spectacular, beautiful stuff.
Thanks, man.
Well, Jose's been on fire lately. He did a piece for Cyberfrog that was just knockout gorgeous.
Thanks, man.
And a cover for Samurai Shotgun Samurai.
Samurai Shotgun. Yeah, that was fun, man. That was really fun.
Shotgun Samurai is a fun book. The piece you did for Cyberfrog, was that the one with the Vespas in the back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in the woods. Yeah, that was a nice piece. That piece needs to be printed long.
Like that'd be awesome.
That one of those like letterbox posters. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'm working on a Salamandroid and Cyberfrog versus the Vespas, but I think I'll rebuild that in a couple of weeks. But this comic, Lumina Vox, it's gonna be a series. I'm thinking of it as in arcs. 80-page books. Every 3 80-page books will be an arc. The first arc is you could say it's the origin of Mia, how she gets the how she gets the Eldritch God inside of her, and the story is kind of like something like Naruto, like kind of like the relationship between the QB and Naruto is the relationship with her and the Eldritch God inside of her. And on the first,
it's like one of the tailed beasts and what have you.
Yeah,
so she's able to draw on its power and all that. That's really cool, dude.
Yes.
I dig it.
Yeah, man. And but the thing is that she's got a mentor, which at the cover you can see kind of like an astronaut behind of her, and that's one of the guys who hunts the Luminous and the Eldritch Gods, and that guy will kind of act as her mentor, but with the caveat that if she loses control, she will kill her.
Not death. I like that cover too. That cover is
thanks a lot.
Yeah. No, really cool, 80-page book in full color. How much I know it's you got to sign up here, and I'll sign up right after we're off. I'm not gonna dox myself on there. Nope. But how much are you thinking it's gonna be?
I don't know. I hope to what do you mean? How much subs will I have, or how long?
The price. The price.
Oh, the price.
He's asking price point, buddy.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking 2025 ish. The thing is, it's one of my first crowdfunders ever. I've done two or three maybe. I'm actually going to offer a bundle with another with my previous campaign, which was my 8-bit story. I will leave you a link in the chat, and well, I'll try to get you as much content as I can, because what I'm doing is I'm from Mexico. I'm printing on Mexico, but I'm driving all the way to Texas and just crossing the books and sending from Texas. And from all the other guys who are in Latin America, that will be much easier because I can do that from Mexico. I think Australia, it's really it's cheaper sending here from Mexico. But yeah, the other book I will be bundling it with. It's called My 8-Bit Story, and it's 140 pages, plus on color, plus Lumina Vox, which will be like 220 pages. And I might, if I reach my goal, I might even put out, a little lash can, or maybe some little. I was thinking about printing a preview of my next campaign, with it, which is called Ginger and Luna. I have the first. I have the whole book already finished. It's 280 pages, but I will have the first 65 preview alongside of Lumina and my 8-bit story, and I will be offering original art. When you were talking about the traditional the copics and all that stuff, I haven't been since I've been working in the industry for so long. I haven't really working traditional. I've been working digitally for almost 12, 14 years. So I'm getting back to traditional just to give you guys some perks. I will be doing original pages, original art pages, original sketches, and that's my 8-bit story. I did that like I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe. That was one of the comic. That comic actually got me work into DreamWorks and Fear Second Books when I printed it, and I was selling that at San Diego Comic-Con, and I got picked up for this book.
That looks amazing. Love it. Love the color.
You're definitely going to be hearing from me to do an alternate cover for Dinosaur Man when I launch.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks great.
Yeah, thanks. That's a worthless comic. That's just a girl jumping through her old Game Boy games.
Yeah.
Just traveling around, and it was really fun. So it's already printed. I have like 600 copies lying around here. If I can get it to some of the backers' hand, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I sure need the free space on my garage.
That looks good. So guys, go over there and make sure that you sign up at Indiegogo for Lumina Vox. That is LUMINA VHOX Volume 1. Sign up on Indiegogo, and that way you'll be notified when the campaign goes live. Now I know you guys said you had to leave early, so I want to give you guys time to tell everybody where you're from and where you can be found. Well, you have to tell where you're from, but at least where you can be found.
How to get to your house?
Dox yourself.
It's a good time to drop by for lunch. Yeah.
We'll start with Mr. Derrick.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks again for having me on. It was a lot of fun talking comics with you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm like I said at the start of the show, I'm really grateful for shows like yours that help indie creators get the word out about their projects. I think I think people don't realize just how big the current crowdfunding movement really is in terms of the comic book industry. I think it's very important, and people are going to look back on this time fondly, I think, despite all the any kind of drama that pops up or anything like that. Once the smoke clears on all that, this is going to be a very interesting era of comics to talk about. So if anybody, like I said, if anybody is interested in the Abductables, we are on our final week to get funded. We're almost at 80%, so we're very, very close to getting funded. But we do need as much support as possible to get us over the finish line. So if the idea of 112 pages of sci-fi action comedy insanity sounds interesting to you, and I think it should, please do check it out. Read the preview pages on the campaign, check out the original art, check out the art commission perks. We got a lot of options. We got digital, physical copies, anything you want. And if you do have any questions about the campaign or anything else, you just want to reach out to me, probably the best place you can find me is on Twitter. My handle is @Cauldron Comics. I'm on there quite a bit, so please do feel free to reach out. And very easy to find. And once again, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here, Michael. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Mr. Garcia, where can you be found at?
Oh, well, I gotta say, first of all, thanks a lot, guys, for having me. It was really cool being here. I'd love to be the entire show, but yeah, I gotta go for hitting some deadlines. I'm always working. And man, and it's really cool. I want to share a bit of my experience, if that's okay with you, working on the mainstream. Yeah. It's quite quite different. The environment of pro versus all the crowdfunding scene, because the pro scene it was like really shallow. You don't really get to talk to people in this kind of lengths. You don't really you only have peers. They don't really talk to you, or you only see them like once or twice on the convention, on a con. And and this is really funny for me. It's really great meeting all these guys, which really have some really great excitement for their projects, and that's something that it was lacking on the mainstream when I was working. So I really appreciate all of the indie creators. I really love seeing all these many projects and people taking chances, because it makes you more confident whenever you're working on your project and you're thinking, oh, maybe nobody will be interested in this, and you see another indie creator kicking some ass, and it's their first campaign, and you're like, wow, man, that can be done. Why aren't I doing that? And that's really cool. I really love that, and that's why the indie crowd scene really caught my eye, because the animators, all the stuff in DreamWorks were like, you were just hanging around on some meetings, and it was like really boring, and also people were always afraid of saying the wrong things, and it was really dull. But this is really great. I mean, I love talking comics. I love talking. I love seeing all the new campaigns around, and all the ideas, and how people aren't afraid of doing their own stuff. So you can find me at my own website, Jose Garcia artworks.com. You could find me. If you click on that site, you will see the Twitter and the Facebook sign. You can click that, and that will get you to my Twitter page. I'm mostly active on Twitter. My handle is a little bit tricky. It's at Reticulous. It's a really weird name. Funny story about that. But you can always send me a DM. You can always and you can expect a lot of art there. I post art daily. I post a lot of fan art. I post a lot of the stuff I'm working on. And if you sign up to Lumina Vox, you will every 100 subs, I'm making a fan art of your choosing. I always make a post asking you which character would you like me to draw, and then after that I choose the 4 with the most likes, and then I make a pool, and whichever of those 4 wins, I make a fan art. Yesterday I posted the first 100 subs winner, which was Kamen America, and that was really cool. That was really fun to make. And yeah, so if anyone would like to sign up, I will be making an art raffle for Lumina Vox. I think I will be doing 2 art raffles for whoever backs on day 1. You will get an original piece of art for me, and yeah, it will be fun.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. We will definitely, and again, you guys are always welcome to come back on whenever you like. Just send us a message, and we will definitely make room for you. Try to get you back on.
Thanks a lot, guys.
In fact, Jose, I definitely want to have you back. We have a Monday show. It's only about a half hour, 45 minutes at 9 o'clock Eastern, specifically about Webtoon. And specifically, I try to cover as many good Webtoon Canvas episodes that are out there. So I'd love to have you back for that.
Yeah, man. I actually work with them, work for hire, so I can give you some insight on there.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, and yeah, I actually had 3 webtoons on my site, but yeah, I'll tell you the story on Monday.
All right, you guys, you can get out of here. We kept you long enough. I know you guys got busy days to finish up, so thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yep, thanks again.
Right.
And again, that's the Abductables and Lumina Vox, VHOX, over on Indiegogo. Check those out. They're worth your time.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. See you around.
See you around, guys.
Take care, Jose. Good talking to you.
I am going to pay a bill here. I ain't paying a bill, but I'm going to. I have to show the.
Pay those bills.
I have to pay some bills. So here we go.
Woo!
Come on to the Geekatron. It's the place where all geeks will feel at home. Yeah, RPGs, card games, and nerd culture. Comic books, geek lights, and tote posters. And if you're up late at night, then watch out, you might get the bite of a zombie, right? Roll dice for the best D&T merchandise. It's the place to find something you searched all your life. Say, get into the Geekatron. 534 Brookline Boulevard, come on. Say, get into the Geekatron. It's the place where all geeks will feel at home.
Comics are awesome. Comics are awesome.
Worth saying twice.
Of course,
Ah,
of course.
okay. It was a Indie Vote Radio question, and this one is from Davis. Davis says, "Hi guys, I tried to start a independent comic book site back in 1998 on GeoCities."
Oh man,
There you go.
Cities.
Yeah, on GeoCities. It did
That's
take
that one off.
Right. It didn't take off because of various political problems within the industry and people really abusing me and the platform. I see that you've been making videos for over a year. You also have a website. How do you sustain what obstacles? What obstacles did you overcome? Any hurdles? Tons. I could probably write a book. I could write a tome at this point.
Ignore the BS because it's going to come at you from all sides.
You know what?
Just-
You know what though? I am. There are some terms that I've just gotten tired of hearing. First of all, you got this. No, the fuck I don't. I don't have shit. You got this, bro. No, I don't.
Well, what if you thought outside the box?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm just so tired of it.
Anymore, you got to think outside the bucket.
I don't even, I used to think that too. I think that we in the problem you mentioned, Davis, the problem with political industry stuff, even then in the 90s. And we've labeled it a bucket, but sometimes I don't think it's a bucket. I think it's a body, and it's got viruses, and you can't. You know, it's a fucking body. It's a body, and you got cancerous cells walking around, infecting the good cells until the body is just decrepit and sitting in there, and you can't ignore a body. You can't. We're all fucked. So it's just but I'll say this. I'll say this as far as the obstacles. Biggest obstacle.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
The biggest obstacle that I think that I've faced has been probably having like when you keep on, if you keep at it, you will eventually build an audience. You will eventually start tasting some small level of success. And there are people who are going to see that. And they're going to want a piece of it. And they don't necessarily, they want a piece of it, and then they want it. And they want it, and when they find out they can't, because I'm like, hey, yeah, come up here with me. Well, they find out they can't commit mutiny on the SS Bounty.
They can't control you.
I'm gonna fucking sink this ship then.
Yeah.
And they start shooting holes all in your floorboards and say,
all over. Yep.
Nah. And that's what you have to worry about. That type of stuff. Those are the obstacles. Users. Those are the obstacles. But you got to face that in anything. You got to face that in I don't think that's unique or exclusive to comics. I think that's anything that that's if you open a restaurant. Yeah. I shouldn't say this, but I got a family member who went to prison because another family member planted drugs in his restaurant and ended up going to jail. He lost everything. What? Because she wanted to make, she got paid to do it, and he lost everything. So there's gonna be people who do stuff, to hurt you, to hurt your platform, and yeah, I don't want to use this very. Yeah. You don't want any of my success. My success comes with heartache. My success comes with heartache and pain and everything else. But yeah, that's the things you're gonna have to. That's the hurdles, and that's the main hurdle I think that I've had to jump over. Was just you look back and you're like, wow, why is this person actively trying to hurt me? I've done nothing but open my platform to everybody.
Nothing filters out the garbage than success. You really find out who your friends are. You really find out who your enemies are.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
very true.
I just try to keep everything and keep at it. Like,
this question drove him to drink.
Yeah. Keep at it. Just keep
building the dream.
Yeah. It's as long as you can. Because there are gonna be days you don't want to do it. There's gonna be days you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do it. Just keep on. One of the great stuff is that we now there are things we can't say because I've got sponsors, and I've got sponsors that are coming on that I can't even talk about yet, but they're watching. So like we push like a lot of questions now toward the back of the show because contractually. There are obligations. I'll tell people it's another thing too. You don't at Grand Rapids Comic-Con. He runs a huge Comic-Con and he has sponsors for the show. And you start finding out. I didn't know this. You think, oh well, sweet. I've got a sponsor. No, you got an owner. You just sold yourself.
We got to get Mark on here. He's got some stories.
Mark's been on here. But yeah, you have an owner who now is telling you what you can and can't say. and it has been the last couple weeks I've been so white knuckled. Like, oh, I can't say that, or we can't say that, or shush, shush, shush. And sometimes your guests don't know. Your guests don't know what they can and can't say, so you can't get mad at them. So yeah, it's one of the, you have to be very careful. Anyway, though, just keep at it. Just keep at it, Davis. If you jump back in it, I'm always here for advice. Email me, shoot me an email, holler at me on Twitter. And I'll be glad to share any information with you.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look at the dreaded dinosaur man from Eric Hodson. Just went up at 8:30 today. Just went up, and here it is.
Finally, a new episode. I apologize to all my readers. 2 months without an episode. I should be shot, but
it's okay, Randy.
Okay. I'll forgive you.
It's okay, Eric. I've gone for 2 years, 3 years. Yeah.
I'm a Berserk fan.
At this point, they brought I forget her name now.
Zalana
into the she lost her arm in a battle. And they brought her in to Vij's bar to be seen about medically. She's hurt. Yeah, she's got one boob. She's got an una boob. And
una boob.
Yeah, and Drabic, who's based on Paul Drabic, who owns Geekadrome Comics, a fine comic store over in Pittsburgh. He brings her in, and he's going to do some work on her to Vij's bar. Vij looks very Vij is a very, I don't want to scam. I don't want to go through the whole book. I mean, I know I will, but I don't want to give too much away. But Vij looks very familiar.
Gee, I wonder who he looks like.
Yeah, Vij. And the cool thing about Vij, one of the cool things about comics is that Eric allows me to write all the Vij's dialogue. And I think it's because no one can be as depraved as me. Eric won't let his mind go to that type of chicanery and depravity. He's like, no.
I absolutely love what you wrote, because I was thinking more dry to the story, and your ad lib here is fantastic.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think I even cut. Did I do the cut there together? And yeah. This table is filthy. How is such a problem for you? Filth, you unwashed brute. I'll have you know this is expensive. That's an expensive and naturally rare patina you're letting her ooze out on. It's not filth. It's patina.
No, wait. You gotta read Paul's here, because I tried to put that same pizzazz that you were putting into your dialogue with Paul's response to you.
Okay. I am an emergency medical technician hired to do a job, and I take my work seriously. Very seriously. Let me put it in terms that a scholarly proprietor of your precious fluid such as yourself can understand. If my patient dies, you die. Ooh. I work real hard. Give my associate whatever the courage he wants, and get me a bottle of your hardest booze. Wait, I need that to sterilize my tools. Fine. Your second hardest. Sigh. And you see V just there. And I pay you with this. He offers that Star Crystal drive up, and V's just like, ooh. He's excited about that. It's like me and I walk in GameStop. Ooh.
I had to do the anime face for that one.
Yeah. Even my little hats come alive. See,
that was you today.
Yeah.
The bookstore and GameStop.
Yeah, that was me today. Yeah. As I was saying, I work real hard to bring a bit of class and decency to this sector. And what do I get for it? Warrants, random searches. My cookery shut down due to conditions that somehow affect the multiverse. if your diner affects the multiverse, there's a problem.
I won't eat a steak at Denny's, and I hate eating any of your food at Vij's.
If I don't get that hot water, I'm going to burn the place down to the ground. Now you changed this from the version I saw. This is there's the purple.
Yeah, I gave it his character's colors to really hit home that he's shouting this.
Yeah, and Randy, you checking out this art here? It's and you'll want to pay close attention, because the horde is coming. Hold your crunching goomies, which the goomies me and Lola took all day trying to figure out goomies.
I love that word. How did you come up with it?
We decided they're testicles.
Oh, okay.
We decided goomies was these space testicles or something. As for you, I gotta finally age them off. Just brought in. And what Chief Oden don't know won't hurt him. So I know that guy, Chief Oden.
Oh God.
How does a 2-bit outlaw know so much and have priceless energy crystals? That's an interesting story. Before I get into details, perhaps I should introduce myself. And you see V just looking like, and you should have ended it right there. But no, this guy. So this dude here with the like skinned
gnarly skinned horse face, yeah.
The skinned horse face takes this off, splooch, and look. Before I became an outlaw, I was Army commander of some more in the military. My name is General Zim.
General Zim.
Yes.
He's got more hair than me, though.
Yeah, he's a.
He has to be an idealized version, right?
Yeah.
My name is General Zim.
Look at that nasty ass mess he had on his face too.
Yeah. That thing is disgusting. And you, my friend, need an education.
That's great. Fantastic. Thank you. Love it.
V doesn't like him. V doesn't like him at all. This guy's problems. He's got this nasty thing crawling around my bar. That thing ain't legal. Look at it. V, intergalactic impresario. V is who you go to when it's got to absolutely get done. Lightly used and recently reposed biological accoutrements, organs, personal protection equipment, aka weapons, hands, passkey, identifying serial numbers. If he doesn't have it on hand, he can get it to you by the end of the light cycle. It might cost you a little, it might cost you a lot, but suffer no delusions, it's gonna cost you. And, I loved writing that. It's really cool to Eric lets me write so much stuff for Veej. This guy here
got the body right at least.
Yes, of course.
It's molded plastic like the Batman suits.
Yeah. So we're gonna learn more about General Zim.
I'm excited to see about this Chief Oden character.
Yeah. Anything about this? I knew about it yesterday. I think it was the first time I seen General Zim, so I had to keep it quiet from Randy. So I chose not to talk to Randy all day. I was like, "Am I talking to him?"
I can't talk to him or I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll fucking spoil the surprise.
Yeah,
dude, this is so cool.
Yeah. Grandpa's Comic Con said this is the way it works, especially in today's society. It's so sensitive to anybody being offended. Most of my locals don't care, but national comic book companies will walk away over 1 or 2 guests. There are a few names I am sure you can guess. And since we have gotten to the point where some national comic book companies have interest, they do pay attention to comic guest list and will pour support over some select names.
Jeez.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, I'm so glad. That's why I'm so glad that all of our sponsors, they understand. Yeah. And they're all businesses. They're not, you know, they're businesses that don't mind making money. Art supply companies. Plus, the checks have been cashed. So you know, here's the thing. You want off the site? Okay. Not getting your money back. You know, those checks have been cashed. So that's the beauty of it. But yeah, this looks great. And Eric, I'm pretty sure that you'll get some more views on it. Don't know if I like this General Zim character though. He looks shady. He's shady. Yeah, walk around that thing on his face.
He's slimy face.
Yeah. Awesome. He thinks we all need an education. That's the dreaded dinosaur man over on Webtoon. Go check it out.
Look at the underside side of that mask.
Yeah, that thing looks like a.
Yeah,
you know what it looks like.
It looks like a face hugger.
Yeah,
it does. Face hugger. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah, it makes a skinned horse face thing on the other side. So
yeah, really.
Ew, it's nasty. It's nasty.
You'll have to wait a couple updates to find out a little bit more about exactly what that creature is, but I'm gonna leave you in suspense for a little while.
And I want to say something else too. I don't think that was Vij gasping. I think that was his hat.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, the hat's like, he's this man's peeling off his face.
Well, squeech, splooch, splooch, splooch. Ay.
Yeah.
Before I became an outlaw.
This is me continuing the tradition that I did when I first started out doing Melby Comics back in 2005, and even before then. I always looked to put the people closest to me in the book somehow. So if you make it into Dinosaur Man, you just know that you're close to my heart, and I'm with you to the end.
Oh,
that's
gratifying. Thank you.
Yeah, this is.
I'm not crying at all, Eric. It's all good.
although I am going to make sure I can get this printed out here, and I'm going to cut it out so I can have myself a nice cardstock file.
Plus, it just makes more interesting if characters are based on real people. It adds to the variety of the writing. It adds to the richness of the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It looks really cool. That looks really cool. I thank you, Eric. Thank you for making sure that. Now, if I keep losing weight, we're gonna have to figure out a way to shrink Vij in the store. Just have him.
We'll have some disgusting face monger to suck the fat out of here.
That or he figures out that he can sell his own fat on the black market.
Could be, he takes that magic elixir that Facebook has on it. It just farts out.
Yeah.
Now your arm
smaller every time he farts.
It's mentioned in the story that the arm comes from the Von Terry tech. It's a Von Terry tech.
Yeah.
And that character is going to be a major player in the book that I'm coming. So there's lots of little tie-ins that I'm just starting to seed throughout.
That arm stole from right?
That arm is stolen.
Yeah. If he ever visits me, he's got like sitting behind the bar. I've only got one arm. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a one-handed barmaid. I
haven't decided if you're going to have no arm if that comes off, or if it's going to be like some little deformed little tiny baby arm or something.
You need to give him the Kaiser Wilhelm. He needs to have the Kaiser Wilhelm deformed little shriveled one.
Yeah, just a little hand that pops out, and just it should be white too. It should be white for no reason. Yeah. So, Mr. Oden, today you decided to start the.
Well, technically, it was last night.
So, tell us about the Embrace, man. You're off to a roaring good start, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We hit 55% funded within the first 24 hours.
Woo!
So I'm pretty happy about that. The Embrace is Nine Realms' first ever superhero comic. Oh, did we get any more here? No, we haven't. Okay. So the whole thing with the Embrace is it's this dark take on superheroes that takes a lot of notes from stories like James O'Bare's The Crow and Todd McFarlane and Robert Kirkman's Haunt. It's this story that delves into fatherhood, loss, and justice as its primary themes, as we focus on Clarence Griffin, a man that a year ago had quite possibly the most horrible thing that you could have happen to you, where through a tragic mugging, his son David, who was 8, was murdered. And so in that year, there hasn't been any headway on that case, and so the police have dropped it. And so he's gone back to the last place he was with his son, with every intent of taking his own life, only to be stopped by the ghost of his son David, who gives him a revelation of the people who are responsible. And so when Clarence comes to, he's in this suit that's powered by David's soul that protects him from harm and grants him abilities. And together, he and David are going after the people that committed this crime to bring them to justice as the spectral hero of the Embrace.
Holy shit! I think that's the first time I've heard that description.
It's cool.
That's compelling.
This has been a pretty personal project for me. As everyone here on this panel knows, and anyone that's heard me before, I've had a bit of a year. There's been some ups with me getting into the comic book game, but there's also been some downs. I'm going through divorce, and I have a 3-year-old kid. And no matter how much you try, there's going to be bad that comes with that. And so I needed to take that bad and transform it into something constructive. And that's what the embrace is it's all the hurt, it's everything that I've had, and me taking it and turning it around into something positive and constructive, where you have this character that is so consumed in his loss and everything, but then the hero of this book is David, is his son, is the ghost of his child who's come back to save his life, and to help him move past this horrible thing that happened. I really hope that when people read this, that they get those themes from it. Like one of the big thing that I really want to be the takeaway from this series is, our children are the best parts of us. And I hope that really comes through in my writing and in the art. And, we've got a really fantastic art team. We've got Dean James, who's an up and comer from Australia, doing our line art. We have Paul Billick, who's worked with Shane Davis as his colorist over on Shinobi Sasquatch, is doing our colors. We've got obviously me doing the writing. So, I do okay on that front from what I understand. And, we've got just a very special book, and we've got a lot of great tiers for you guys to get in on, lots of great deals. We're trying to make this the best bang for your buck that it possibly can be. And we have, and I don't say this lightly, I think everyone here knows me, that I'm not one that I outrageously toot my own horn, but I think that we've captured lightning in a bottle with this book. I do think that this is going to really knock people's socks off. And if Varian can scroll down a bit, we can take a look at some of these interior pages.
Varian, are you there? Scroll down a little. Varian?
Hello?
He must not be at his station.
Oh, no.
I had to step away for a sec.
No worries. But yeah, so while we're waiting on that, does anyone have any questions about the Embrace that I can answer?
No, I just want to tell you everything that I see from it. It looks incredibly professional. And folks really need to get in on this as quickly as possible. Your campaign is already raging real well. And the more support you get, the better it's just going to be.
Yeah, and that's honestly been one of the most humbling things about this is, this character, this idea only came to me 3 months ago. And in that time, we've gotten a good chunk of the interior done. I got the script done. Everything is well underway. And then we did our pre-launch campaign, and our pre-launch numbers were ridiculously high. We launched the campaign with 230 people signed up for the pre-launch.
There, we're able to scroll down now.
Okay, awesome. So we have some little character bios here for people to get involved in that. And I kind of went through everything with as far as those are concerned for the bio. But here's some looks at the interior of the book.
Look at those interior pages. I love the coloring on this.
Yeah, Paul is doing a tremendous job.
It's just a great combination of both the artist and the colorist.
Yeah, they've
really nice
come
work
together brilliantly. We are working very hard and very diligently to get these pages to the professional quality that people deserve, that fans deserve, and especially with all the support that we've gotten so far. And then we got this beautiful Jim O'Reilly Sigmentore pinup that we ended up making into our Virgin B variant. And as one of our stretch goals at 4,500, that becomes a holofoil.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
The design of the character, did you have that set in stone before the artists took a crack at it, or
No, not at all. And in fact, so the reason I actually made Dean my co-creator because this design was so integral to me writing. When I came up with the initial concept, I had this synopsis and I knew it was something, but I was having issues visualizing the script, visualizing the characters. And so I had talked to a few people and got some recommendations to some artists, and I reached out to Dean, and he did the character concept, and it was perfect. Like, I knew right then and there, I was like, okay, this is it. I gave like a few little modifications on things, and then we were good to go. And from there, it took off. And, you know, we had a lot of people that saw our character and started just drawing him.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up doing a fan art contest, and the top 3 winners of that are going to be in a fan art gallery inside the book. And the winner of it, their piece is being made into an 11x17 pinup that all backers for the first 30 days get as an early bird special for free.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I've seen you and both and Dave Bink's Perfect 10 have gotten a lot of volunteered fan art coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah, and speaking of David Brink's Perfect 10, we're actually partnered with their campaign. If you back both of these books, you get a pinup done by Russ Leach that features both of our characters. And if you scroll down on our campaign, you actually get a chance to see that pinup. It's absolutely just outstanding. And I expect nothing less from Russ. He's such a tremendous talent. Just look at that. So if you back both of the books, the way that we're doing this is I'm going to be handling the distribution of the pinup. So when you back both books, you shoot me your backer numbers from both campaigns, and then I'm collecting all of the notes in a spreadsheet.
You dropped kind of low there.
Hey guys, I gotta roll. I got a call from work.
Okay.
All right. I'll catch you guys here in a bit. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Hey, no problem, dude.
But,
This is so looking at Russ's piece here. Yeah. We keep saying your name and you pop up. This gives me. Do you remember Image 1963?
Yeah.
When they did like if Image should come out, that's what this instantly like gives me vibes of.
The Fury was one of my favorites from that.
That was a great book.
Yeah. I remember getting that and being really confused. Like, what the hell is this? Like, Image 1963. What? It was a really cool concept. I like the Embrace. The Embrace looks good. And I told Michael he better not screw this up.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find some time to ink out a sketch of the Embrace for our buddy Michael here.
Yeah. From Indie Vote Radio. Guys, excuse me. Indie Radio, and this is from Ramel. Yeah, I guess it's Ramel. Ramel says, guys, what do comic book fans have against slabbing comics? I showed a buddy 7 of my favorite slab comics in my own collection, and he told me they're pretty much ruined. What gives? I think that some people like to be able to go back and open that book. They want to be able to go and open it, slide it out, read it again.
You can open a slabbed book, but it's going to cost a lot of money and hurt your hand doing it.
Randy, you're muted.
Yeah, it'll take quite an effort to open it. I don't know how I got muted.
It's been doing that. It muted me earlier, and I didn't even do anything. But maybe it doesn't want to hear me talking. I think you can open a slab book. It takes some time, but Also from my Facebook, a friend of mine said they're watching live, and they said that I look like Royce the 5'9" wearing a coonskin cap. So that's a rapper. I don't think that's true.
Well, the thing with slabbed books, I mean, you can slab a book all you want if you're going to collect it and trade it like a trading card, put it up on eBay and sell it for the value that's marked on the slab. But a lot of comic readers don't like slabbing as much because it keeps you from being able to open and enjoy the book.
Mhm.
That's
And-
the whole thing.
A lot of times, like when I was trying to buy some high dollar books, I was looking at getting ones that have been slabbed. Sometimes they'll package a reader copy along with the slab book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
Well, and sometimes slabbing is important. You get an older golden age book in a pristine condition that you want to keep it in. That's the way to do it. But make sure that it's been reprinted enough for you to be able to read it and enjoy it from another source before you really get it slabbed or get a second copy.
Yeah,
because there's no way you're going to be able to comfortably open it. I mean, you can, but it takes a crowbar and a lot of effort in order to get into a slabbed book. So
yeah, I know. With our first printing of Roddy Piper, Dominic got, I think, five copies slabbed, just so they'll be out there in the universe. And he's sold a couple of them. But that keeps that first printing in tip-top shape, and it's there as a time capsule too. So
do we need to bring Russ in?
And Russ is welcome to come in if he wants.
All my copies. Russ says all my copies are well thumbed.
By the way, this is Royce the 5'9", and yeah, I don't.
Russ, I'm going to send you a link. You can come in if you want. Love to have you.
I don't see it.
Lola says she doesn't see it, but I guess we all look like to some people. Let me bring up earlier in the chat we had Rob stop in and drop some stuff. Speaking of Russ, Only Death Can Save the Continuum. Only Death Can Save the Continuum is an anthology. The Continuum is the indie variety pack of tales from all over the world, and it's where creative freedom lives. He's got the link there, but you can't see a link in the chat. But yeah, we'll bring the campaign up. William Pace is like, love you guys. What's up?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rob also says that the tragic event on one of the Hawaiian Islands, Eclipse's heroism is called into question. Now he's become a person of interest for a fixer employed by the U.S. government. The story of Eclipse is a catalyst into an unknown universe that hopes to evoke your fandom. And we're going to take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Russ Leach. Yes.
Hello.
Russ, introduce yourself to the radio audience, please.
Hello. Yeah, my name's Russ Leach, and I'm very tired.
Did we wake you up?
No, it's I left Facebook on in the background, and it woke me up. Damn it!
What is it, like 3 or 4 in the morning?
Yeah,
for you?
it's 4 o'clock. I'm doing some other bits and pieces, and
wow.
And I dropped in. I just literally saw you, and I thought, I keep missing Indie Vault at night, and I thought I'd drop by. So thank you for having me in. My name's Russ Leach. I am the comic book black belt. So now I've got to think while my brain is not engaged. I've been drawing comics since around 2010, but I've loved them my whole life. And I had a spot with brands like Doctor Who, drew for BBC, some stuff for Marvel, and some bits and pieces for a cartoon company called Cartoon Network. You may know of them. So I've been in and around and doing some stuff, and most recently I've put together my own book, Only Death Can Save Us. But you can find me as Comic Book Black Belt on the YouTubes, or you can find me at russleach.com and comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out more about the book at onlydeathcansavus.com. And I'm in the usual places like the Twatter and the Fleece Book. Come find me.
The Twatter.
The Twatter.
Only Death Can Save Us is still on demand, right?
It's still on demand and will be for a little while yet, because the other book is in production. Very early production, but in production while I'm doing something else. So I thought I'd keep it open for as long as possible, because you never know when a second wave might turn up, as they say.
I got you entered Only Death Can Save Us in the Indie Vote Awards. It's actually it's in there, and it will be judged harshly.
It will be,
as
I expect any works to be judged.
It's going to win best smelling.
There's no doubt about it. Anything that might have drugs built within the pages, I've got the award.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Only Death Can Save Us, I was before you came in, I was going to show off the campaign over on Terraform, which has been named in your honor right now. Only Death Can Save the Continuum right now.
Yeah, I gave them some art and said you can, you're more than welcome to use any bits you like, and they put one of them up as a cover, which is very nice. And unlike the Indie Vault campaign, this one is the 8-page preview, but provided in color, obviously, because it's from the book. So I said that they were more than happy for them to reprint that, and they were more than happy to take it. So that's great for everyone all round.
Yeah, I read some of the stuff that's in there. $1,349 of a $1,111 goal. 80 backers. 17 days left to go on there.
Barely funded.
I ran it. Yeah, they actually. It's like they knew. You know you're gonna make it. I mean, 1,101. You know you're gonna make it.
They still have half of the month to go.
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna.
There's some good stuff in there.
Look at that awesome cover.
There you go. Bit of Photoshop. I do weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Weddings and bar mitzvahs. You could did my wedding. It was very low key. It was very low key. But you heard the ones that makes a great action figure. Look at awesome.
That.
Yeah.
That's where I want it to go. Yes. I mean the point is I make comics. Everything else is just it's additional fluff. But it would be really nice to see it as an action figure, or as a sculpture or something.
Yeah.
Or even more so as a Saturday morning cartoon.
Because,
it's all ages. That's what
we have no shortage of aspirations for our characters.
Yeah.
We have so you're in that book, and then Rob was here earlier. He said that Eclipse, that was from Michael Seeley, who you just saw me scroll past, is in there.
Yeah.
The first Hawaiian superhero. Dawn and the Dead. There's the art from that from Austin Janowski and Company. They keep saying in Company, so there's other people involved too. But, you can go check that out. The Wolf, which is the adult version of
it's the Wolf.
Jax and Unjax. Cat and Superman. It's kind of like the adult version of it. It's there's the city is the child in this case. It's actually pretty cool. I think I
did the colors on this.
Okay, yeah,
I was gonna say that's colorful.
You did the coloring and the Enter the Continuum. Now you can get that book. There's a $2 when you show your support, and you get the Continuum and its own PDF and get the sticker with free shipping. Sorry, only US backers for that one. There's a $10 Pleasure Dollar Reward section, but you can get a peek into the Continuum for $1. You get a peek into it. $5 gets you the PDF, 40-page PDF edition, and $10 gets you the standard cover, which I believe is that Russ cover. And Russ is I call it the diamond cover. the diamond standard cover,
like a honeycomb cover.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like Varian saying, it's like a crystal kind of.
Oh.
So you could view through the different crystals, and they gave you a different view, which was what the Continuum's all about, I suppose.
Then
there was a theme.
Continuum and get all these stories listed in a printed format and exclusive only to Kickstarter backers and creators to own. Standard edition will be limited to a print run of only 111 copies. Material includes a PDF, so you'll never have to open the printed version till you meet the creators for an autograph. This comes with a bonus sticker for supporting Terraform Comics. So there's a lot of stickers, and there's Eclipse. And that character that character is based on Rob. I noticed that the other day. I'm like, oh shit, it is. He doesn't have the tank top though. He needs a tank top.
Really, it looks way out of place.
He needs a tank top.
not as thick as Rob.
I'm that's me right there. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm just kidding. That's not
that's it right there. Yeah.
I got the Thanos chin going on.
The random black guy in the corner, that's me. That's me.
Well, the living silhouette.
That's me.
Yeah. That's me in the corner. I get put in everyone's book. But that's the Reapers.
Anyway.
This Reapers is drawn by the very talented C. Michael Lanning and written by
very talented C. Michael Lanning. Look at that art.
And so head over to terraformcomics.com. It'll take you right to the campaign. You can back it and get in there. It's really affordable too.
That Reapers is written by Meredith Logren, and C. Michael's wife, right, Nita?
Is Nita a part? I don't know. I don't know if Nita
Is she a
wrote
part of that? I thought she
I'm
was.
not sure Nita wrote Reapers.
I could be wrong.
I know that it's Meredith, and I know C. Michael Landing's on it. I know Nita. I believe Nita's. Well, we look. We know that Nita's the brains behind the C. Michael situation. We know that. I mean, come on.
I don't know about that. Oh, well,
come on. Our wives are always the brains behind the operation.
That's very true. I'm afraid so. Yes.
So check that out over at terraformcomics.com. Russ, you've been busy. I know you got projects. I'm surprised that you're up so late or early. Actually, it's late. It's late for us.
Burning the midnight oil. He's got the next 4 or 5 months worth of work ahead of him.
Yeah. A lot. Pack all this stuff in now. It's a great place to be, though. You can't complain.
Russ, let me ask you a question.
Go on.
I've been dealing with this lately, and I know that I think you mentioned something about this when you were doing licensed work, which is basically like having sponsors. There were certain rules that you had to abide by, certain ridiculous rules. And you said one time a really ridiculous one, but I remember it was you couldn't. It was something. I think it had something to do with the way you had to draw somebody, or a way a character had to be depicted.
Yeah.
But what was one of the most bizarre rules you had to follow when doing a licensed property?
I think probably the weirdest thing. I don't know about bizarre. I don't think I've ever done anything too bizarre. But the weirdest concept to me was drawing Doctor Who and never being able to draw any of the aliens, any of the people that he goes up against. So there were never any. I could never draw a Cyberman, or I could never draw a Dalek. I mean, we all know. We all know Daleks are bought by the Dalek or bought by the page. So you can have an army of Daleks on one page and be charged, but every time they turn up, you get charged differently. But that's because somebody else owns the IP on Daleks.
Oh, even if you sneak one into the background,
they'll have you. Yeah, so you can't do anything. But because of the way that they wanted the canon to work, or it didn't work as it ended up, I couldn't. The writers couldn't write any of the the bad guys into the major villains into the pages, and that was odd because I was on Doctor Who, but I was kind of only on half of Doctor Who. Does that
get as fine toned as like the Centaurans and the Weeping Angels and all of that?
Yeah, you couldn't even put general species in.
Wow.
Okay. It was just it was very odd.
Real careful. Yeah.
So but that did mean that we had to be very creative and we had to make everything up.
The reason I asked is because I've been getting I was mentioning there are rules and contracts and you don't see them till after you get a nasty gram. It says, hey, you can't do that. You can't talk about anything like this until after this amount of time. Like I got a nasty gram that told me I had to restructure my show a bit. And it was like, oh, okay. And normally, I think, hey, wait a minute, I'm gonna tell you the F off.
Yeah.
But then I remember they paid me. And if I want to keep getting paid, I'm gonna bend over and take it.
Yeah, There's that instant response of I do what I like, and then you think, bucks. Yeah, okay. How can I make this work?
It's like you're just like I don't have to call you daddy, do I? I mean, I know what's about to happen. I just don't make. I don't have to enjoy it, but I'm gonna do it. But I was thinking about that. Like it's such a part of our industry that we just have to.
You know what? You just have to be. You have to be adult about it. You just have to realize that it's a job, and it's a business, and it's your particular issue or the thing that you're framing is slightly different to comics because it's more sort of general entertainment media. But we all suffer from the same things. But definitely an approach to comic books.
Right.
There's a lot of people that get into entertainment or get into comic books specifically and have a very fairy tale view of what they think they will be doing. And you have to, in order to be successful, in order to get on in life in anything, let alone in entertainment and in comics specifically, you have to, knuckle down and get on with it. And sometimes you have to do stuff you don't want to do because you want to eat. So
one sent to me a comment that said that it says, we're down with you. We'll sponsor you. Here are things you can't say anymore. And they gave me 4 words that apparently we've said on the program. I know I haven't said some of these words, but they said they have recorded 8 instances of us using a slur for a female genitalia. And I'm like, really?
C word?
No, the P one. And
Really?
I'm like, really? I'm like, that's not. They said they recorded 10 instances of the F one, the F word for, I'm like, not the other F word, the other F word. And I'm like, that wasn't that I remember, I know what they're talking about. That wasn't us though.
Which F word was that? Oh, yes. Okay. That was an old program.
Yeah, that wasn't us.
Yeah, and we were as startled as they were that word was, we were like, whoa, wait a minute.
There are cultural differences. So for instance,
yes,
some words that you guys use over there we would use in a completely different way.
Right,
exactly.
like to you it's like it's a food,
cigarette.
Right? A cigarette, yeah,
cigarette, exactly, yeah. And it's just a thing. It's
and there's the other one where they're covered in gravy. You can go in the store and buy them. It seriously is. You've seen the ads. You all look up that and gravy. They're easy you can find them. Onions, they got all type of variety. You can get onions. There's word? The F word.
Oh, okay.
And you can find it.
Yeah. So the short version of that word is a cigarette, and the long version of that word is a meaty snack.
Yeah.
From the north of our country. And yes, sometimes you can have it with gravy.
But that's not a problem, though. We haven't used that F word since because we know better.
We never used the F word.
No, we never did.
Well,
I'll never been on our program since, right?
I'll remember now never to suggest going outside for a smoke or eating a meaty snack. So I know now.
Please.
Yeah, like, what's your wife cooking for dinner, Russ? Oh, she's cooking. Whoa, wait.
Back that truck up now. No.
I swear to God, he's English. We can explain.
Quick, become vegans.
Yeah. We don't condone meat on this program. No. And so it's like I got this list of words I can't say, and I'm like, I don't recall ever saying some of this stuff. Is my language really that poor? And then I talked to my son, and I'm like, yeah.
We are TVMA DLSV. Where the L does stand for language.
Yeah, I talked to my kid, and I'm like, yeah, my language is that poor. Wow. Want to remind everybody, too, that I am extremely proud of the indie princess, Lola, because she is getting ready to launch her first book March 31st. She's going to be hitting us off of lore. There's the cover.
Nice.
Lola, tell us about it.
Oh, it's about a couple who live a rich, fancy life. The husband, he's an accountant for high-end people, and he has a high-maintenance wife. She's got a little secret. She likes to go to adult parties, swinger parties, and unfortunately, her husband gets dragged along with her.
No good.
Because he wants to do it. He wants to keep her. She's like the trophy wife, so anything she wants, she gets. But she wants to get into this high and exclusive invite-only party. They finally get into the party and then realize maybe they shouldn't have.
You've called it Eyes Wide Shut Meat Saw.
Correct.
Ooh. That's scary.
Yeah.
Not so much gore, but a lot of torture.
Yeah.
The torture part of Saw.
And you have the page up. People can go sign up for that right now. Indiegogo. They can go sign up for lore on Indiegogo. Adults only horror thriller graphic novel in the style of Eyes Wide Shut Meat Saw. It all started off an invite. You got a couple cool things to Blair, who's the character with the envelope on the cover.
Yep.
You got his ring.
Rings.
Yeah, a bottle opener key. There's some T-shirts. There's some character art. There's our guy. There's our husband, and there's his wife. And yeah, she's at the trot. Look at her.
Yeah, it's going to be an 80-page book.
That's how I imagine like all the CEOs in the world laughing. Like when they raised my bill, like we're gonna charge him $25 extra. yeah. Like I need to meme that. It's gonna be a meme. Like, and then I charge him $80 extra, and then I cut off his service anyway.
You're born to be a CEO, mate. Born.
Yeah. Lola, they can go get that, and you're going to be launching that March 31st. I know you're excited.
I am excited. I can't wait.
It's very exciting. This one of the weirdest sensations is hitting that button, making it go live.
Yeah,
I hovered over it. I've done all kinds of things. I think I'm a big boy now, but that it did make me very nervous hitting that button. I had to do it, come back a couple of times.
Nervous, but excited at the same time.
Yeah, it's great.
Grams comments says, don't take sponsors like that. They will control you as long as they're giving you a check. Had to turn down some potential vendors and sponsors in the past, just part of the game. Yeah, I'm also greedy though, Mark, and I'm like, I only had to deal with them for a little while. They got money. Look. They only want my firstborn.
They give me money for my meaty snacks.
Yes.
And cigarettes.
Right, I just dropped in. Sorry, I'm going to have to rush off.
Yeah, we got to close.
We understand. It's 4 a.m. Where you are.
Tell everybody where they can find you because we're going to do the same. So
okay, thanks very much for having me, and it's lovely to see you all
Thanks
at such a strange
in.
time of the morning. You can find me at Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube, russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out about the book at onlydeathcansaveus.com. There's a link there to the Indiegogo, and find me on all the other platforms, and I'm more than happy to friend everybody. Thanks very much. I'm just here for the fun.
Thank you, Russ.
We're
all here just for the fun.
day.
Get some sleep.
Thanks for letting me jump in. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.
Take care, man.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Yeah, cool to have Russ pop in. I know it's very late where he's at.
Especially considering how late it is where he's at. I'm sure he'd get punch drunk and he'd probably say things that he didn't mean to say pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
There we are.
There's there's the variant. That's when you pissed me off. I get all these tattoos and stuff, and I'm like,
you can always Photoshop that cap on him. There you go. Nobody would know the difference then, right?
No one.
Do a deep fake on that.
No one know the difference at all.
What's our radio number right now?
61,720. 61,720. And we are getting ready to get out of here. Randy, please tell everybody where they can find you at, sir.
You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Twitter under Randy Zim. I have an Arrow Comics 4.0 page over on Facebook where we will be making some exciting announcements very, very soon. You might want to pop over there or pop over to YouTube under Arrow Comics 4.0. There will be some video content come up this week over there talking about Arrow Comics 4.0. It's time to start publishing comics again, folks, and I can't wait.
Awesome.
And I'm just biting at the bit to get in there and tell you the fun stuff that we have. Go over to the Facebook page. The little banner across the top tells you some of the stuff that we've got planned, but we have a lot more up our sleeve that we haven't been talking about lately that we will. And it's going to be fun. Look for us at the last half of the year for that. Plus, Varian and I will be back Thursday morning at 9 a.m. for the Breakfast Buzz, where we'll talk about comics and coffee and independence again. And then Sunday morning, I do a show where we talk about the more lighter and whimsical side of comics called the Sunday Funnies at Sunday morning at 9 a.m. A lot of times it's great old stories about the comic industry or an aspect of the industry that you might not be aware of or have heard about. Like last Sunday, we were privileged to have an hour and a half with Trina Robbins. And if you don't know who that is, you're missing out. You really need to go up on YouTube on the Indie Volt channel and take a listen to that and get to know Trina and her work. Just an amazing time. And hopefully we'll have her back on soon, along with Dan Fogel and Glenn Fleming and Brian Morris or Brian K. Morris and a bunch of other folks where we talk about the more lighter and fun side of comics. So that's a Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m.
I've realized when he says the lighter and fun side of comics, he means the comics themselves.
Yes.
Like the comics, not the people.
Because the discussion goes crazy at times, and we start talking about who knows what.
Well, they don't necessarily mean the people, because one day I wasn't there. I was watching, and
that's your story, and you're sticking to it.
They were talking about the comics, but they started talking about the people who create the comics.
Yeah,
and these were some deplorable indivials. Like they found him with a needle in his arm. Right, he was high on coke, and he had a prostitute. They're like, wow, wait a minute, I thought this was lighthearted. This isn't lighthearted at all.
Whoa. Yeah.
Mr. Dreaded Dinosaur, where can they find you?
You can find me at Dreaded Dinosaur on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, the Facebook page, and minds.com. And you can also find me on Webtoon with Dreaded Dinosaur Man, which I launched the new episode tonight. And I'll be back at work hard on the next one and try to get that story wrapped up to a point where I can start punching up the print book to launch on Indiegogo later on this year. And next Monday, we will be here on Indie Volt with It Came from Webtoon, talking about the different comics that are on Webtoon, especially Webtoon Canvas. Read through some of those. And you know what? I don't know if we'll do it next Monday, but we're definitely going to have Jose Garcia back to talk Webtoon, because he's got some knowledge there. We're going to have to pry it out of his awesome brain there. And
that was a hot looking strip he did too.
Oh my, yes. His artwork is on fire. I'm totally down for getting him to do a cover for Dreaded Dinosaur Man when I get that book ready.
And Thursday morning we got who?
Dave Bing is going to be here from Perfect 10. If you remember, Oden was talking about they did like a team up on their campaigns, and Russ, that was that piece that Russ did. He had the Embrace and Perfect 10. And I just sent him a pinup that I did for Perfect 10, and he's going to be here Thursday morning to talk about that. He's from the Netherlands, so those of you who are listening from that area, you're going to want to tune in on the Thursday broadcast for Breakfast Buzz.
Fantastic. And Dave Campbell, Matt Campbell will also be joining us on Thursday morning with Mythica. You remember you like that Dreaded Dinosaur? You like that? She had the purple. She had the purple striped pants on.
Oh, yeah.
We've had Matt on before.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
Yeah.
So it'll be good to get him back on and catch up again.
His Kickstarter campaign is launching. So, yeah.
Good.
Thursday morning, make sure you're here for it. Lola, where can they find you at?
Just go to Linktree, look up indie_princess, and you'll find all my links there. And you can find me tomorrow night for Geekgasm at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also check out Lore on Indiegogo. It will be launching March 31st.
Excellent. You can always find me on everywhere. I'm everywhere. KYD_V on Twitter. Very grand on Facebook. Where else? LastCallComics.com. Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group. If you want to get your books in comic book stores nationwide, they can do that for you. www.ledg.us is where you need to go to get that done for yourself. Get your comics out there. It's not a problem. Quit being lazy. Join the people who are listening right now live, 62808 listening live right now on Indie Volt Radio. Listen online now. You can do so through Google Play, Streamer. There's one other one. Oh, they told me yesterday on iOS. There's another internet radio app that you can download on Apple, on iPhone, and hear Indie Volt Radio, as well as on Amazon Alexa. You can hear Indie Volt Radio. And download the Google Play app. Download the Indie Volt Radio app on Google Play. Also, Indie Volt TV on Roku and Roku-enabled devices. It is 100% free. It's our over-the-top streaming network. It is got independent movies on there, some wrestling and some other stuff coming very soon. If you don't know, we just launched Indie Vote Studios, where we're going to be prepared to make some of our own original content, scripted content. Very excited for that this year. Actually, we just approved the script, so ready to get to work on that. A lot of exciting stuff. I'm a very busy man, but not too busy to answer your questions. You can send those questions to us at indievote@indievote.com, and maybe, just maybe, we'll pick your question and read it online. Include Indie Vote Live in the subject, and remember to please keep those emails to 90 words or less, so I can put them on a card. And
nice and pithy.
Yeah, we can pick on you too. So, and remember,
no question or problem is too big. No question or problem is too small or silly, because our feedback will be better because of your setback. Hashtag get an education. Hashtag Indie Vote.
Thanks for being here with us tonight, guys. We love you all.
Before we leave, we should give a tip of the hat and say congratulations to Scout Comics, who actually signed on with Lunar today.
Yeah.
Getting away from, slowly but surely, that monopoly that is Diamond Comics. Hooray for you, Scout. Good move. And, hey, how come you're not signed up with Liberty?
Yeah, what gives?
That's the next question.
What gives?
That's Liberty Distribution, www.ledg.us.
Yeah, what gives? What are you going to say, Lola? You said something?
Definitely take a look.
You got to shout out our sponsors. You got to check out Dick Blick.
Oh, yeah.
Go to indievote.com, and at the bottom of the page, you'll see a link for Dick Blick. Check them out, and also stamps.com.
Yes, stamps.com.
Stamps.com now?
I almost forgot. Yeah, stamps.com. Go check them out.
They need a card.
Yeah. We're waiting for their graphic because they have to approve certain graphics.
Okay. Well, anybody who does shipping, especially like for crowdfunding fulfillment, really need a stamp.com.
My gosh, yeah.
Anyway,
heck yeah. And then, of course, our lovely sponsors over at IndieVoteAwards.com, Logo Comics, which has been great, providing a lot of art boards, professional, really high quality art boards. Listen, it's an embarrassment of quality that these art boards. I tried drawing on it, and I feel that I'm not good enough artist to draw on those boards. They're really good. So check out Logo Comics and those art boards. And our other sponsors, IndieCron, StreamYard. Gee, just so many great people taking part in the Indie Vote Awards and taking an interest in Indie Vote. Thank you guys. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate the support of these sponsors coming on.
And we're constantly growing, and we're closing out on 2 years of doing this podcast on a very regular basis, all of which is archived over on YouTube at the Indie Vote channel. But most of all, we wouldn't be able to do this without you and without our worldwide reach of listeners.
Yeah, so thank you guys.
So
we
appreciate you all. What's our final number?
We were at 65, but then it dropped down because I closed the program out because I knew we were ending.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
I don't know what it is now, but thank you guys for listening.
No, thanks for listening anyway. Yeah.
Thank you guys. We'll see you back here very, very soon.
Are you taking us out, or can I?
I'll take us out.
Have a good night, everyone.
Stay healthy, everyone. See you soon.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
That's not how it works.